Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a little bit of a look at a new Pyroar card. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Pyroar. Now, as a completely unashamed fan of the Detroit Lions, no, of course they're not going to have a good season. We all know it's going to go badly. I've always wanted to play Pyroar. I've always had a little bit of love for Pyroar. And I did really like the one that had an automatic discard of energy that we got recently. I thought it might be good. It was never actually good. Could this new one be good? Well, yeah. I mean, first thing to note about it, it's a fire Pokemon. So we got Welder to accelerate energy. We got Fire Crystal to get energy out the discard pile, and Fiery Flint to get energy out of the deck, etc, etc. It's a good time to be a fire Pokemon. You've got a lot of extra tricks in that regard. Now, our translation does come from the lovely Antoine Boulet here, but if we carry on having a little bit of a look at the basics quickly, we can see that it's actually got 130 HP. Okay, it's the same as Buzzwole, which is a basic, but still, it's not bad for a stage 1, we can deal with that. Retreat cost of 2 is kind of annoying, unfortunately. U-turn board won't give you a free retreat. And the weakness to water, I mean, it should be bad because with so many fire decks around at the moment, people should be playing a bunch of water decks to counter them. But as of yet, it hasn't actually been happening and we're looking all right. You are hitting weakness on stuff like Celebi and Venusaur, or Lucario and Melmetal, but no one's playing decks that are weak to fire at the moment because there's too many decks like Reshiram and Charizard that are hitting weakness, and it goes pretty badly pretty quickly, let's put it that way. Whoopsie daisy. But what does it actually do? Well, it's the first attack here that really excites me. 2 fire, 1 colorless energy, the wonderfully named Hellfire Swirl. Absolutely no chance that doesn't get renamed when it comes to North America, Europe, etc. There is absolutely no way that an attack called Hellfire Swirl actually makes it out. That's ridiculous. It's not happening. But it does 70 damage, and it discards all tools and special energies attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, now we are absolutely loving this. This is not a Pokemon where you're looking for giant attacks. You've got some decent attacks, but that's not really what we're going for here. This is an attack to wreck your opponent's board. This is to come against a Pokemon that is reliant on tools or special energy and go, Oh, you were looking to... No, you can't have them. I mean, one of the most extreme examples here is Doublade. Now, Doublade, you do have the lovely bonus that it is weak to fire, so you'll be getting an extremely easy one-hit KO. But Doublade here has got an attack, Tool Drop. And it does 30 damage for each Pokemon tool card attached to all Pokemon. So what you would do if you attacked with Pyroar into this was you would KO Doublade, and while KOing Doublade, you would also discard every single tool on your opponent's side of the board, and that would go very, very badly for them very, very quickly, because they would have no tools left. So even if they had another Doublade ready to go, they would have lost every single one of their tools. It's like the difference between Field Blower and Startling Megaphone. For a long time we played Startling Megaphone, and Startling Megaphone discarded all of your opponent's tools. And it was great, even against the other tool drop Pokemon who back then was Trubbish. And then we got Field Blower, and we kind of had to play Field Blower, right? Because although Field Blower only gets rid of 2, it's tools or stadiums, whereas Megaphone is just tools, and there's a lot of good stadiums out. But Megaphone just wrecks your opponent's setup. If you use this against a tool drop deck, they're out. But it's not just tool drop. I mean, a lot of decks at the moment are playing a lot of Jirachi. Jirachi's got an amazing ability whereby you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find a trainer card, put it into your hand. It's a great ability. Downside being that Jirachi goes to sleep, but nobody cares that Jirachi goes to sleep because we can use a skateboard, which will firstly give Jirachi free retreat, and secondly allow Jirachi to retreat even when Jirachi is asleep. We're good, ladies and gentlemen, we're good. But you use this and get rid of all of their escape board. Now, it doesn't work so well with U-turn board, because U-turn board is bounced back into your hand. So if you've got a deck, let's say one of these ones that's blocking with Alolan Ninetales, and then relying on the fact that Alolan Ninetales has a single retreat cost, so that you can use U-turn board, and although Pyroar will discard all of the U-turn board, the whole point of U-turn board is that when it would be discarded, it gets bounced back into your hand, so your opponent ends up with all their U-turn board. They can just reattach it next turn. It's not the same. But there are plenty of decks that do rely on it. So I'll give you one more example, Spell Tag. There are a lot of Psychic decks at the moment, especially Malamar decks, especially ones using Giratina, that just really want to use Spell Tag. And the whole point is that they use Spell Tag and then one of their Pokemon gets KO'd and they get to drop a whole bunch of damage counters, 4 per Spell Tag. Cool. So what you do here is you just get rid of all their Spell Tag, and then if they don't have any Spell Tag, they can't drop any damage counters. And we don't have ways to recover tools at the moment. We did. We used to have Eco Arm. We don't have Eco Arm anymore. So you're good to go. Now, one of the best uses for this isn't actually a use we have right now. Fairy Pokemon have Fairy Charms. So they've got something like Fairy Charm UB that would give immunity from Blacephalon. So you could play this and then get rid of all their Fairy Charm UB and then just keep attacking something like Gardevoir and Sylveon because they no longer have the requisite Fairy Charm. If a Fairy Charm Fire is ever released, this could be a phenomenal counter to that. And to be fair, it's still pretty good in Blacephalon decks to get rid of Fairy Charm UB, but as it stands at the moment, that's not an option. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I should mention, of course, that you can always use Lysander Labs to turn off your opponent's tools, but your opponent can always just play their own stadium and then they get all of their tools turned back on. This is a better option. But it's not just tools, it also gets rid of special energy. Now, I'm slightly less excited about this at the moment in the format we're currently in, because the best special energy we've got is triple acceleration energy, and triple acceleration energy it falls off at the end of your turn, so it's kind of irrelevant. It's never staying on there. And another special energy which sees quite a lot of play is recycle energy, and not unlike U-turn board, it gets bounced to your hand when it gets discarded. Now, in a Porygon Z deck, that's not an issue, because they can just attach as many energy as they like during their turn, as many special energy. But actually, even if they're playing recycle energy, if they're not playing Porygon Z, this could still be kind of annoying. If there are decks relying on special energy using stuff like Rainbow, this will be phenomenal. Any deck that relies on tools and any deck that relies on special energy, this is a phenomenal option, and with Welder in the format, we can get it going in a single turn rather easily. This is nice, ladies and gentlemen. This is nice. Second attack, free fire energy, 1 colorless 140. No. I mean, look, it's a non-GX attacker, and it does more damage than Volcanion. But if you put free energy on a Turtonator and discard them all, you do 150. Although you do then have to keep recycling the energy, I suppose, which might be annoying. And if you want a stage 1 attacker, you probably should be playing Arcanine, because for free energy, Arcanine does 120 and accelerates 2 energy from the discard to one of your bench Pokemon, and for 4 energy, it does 190. So no, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not loving this second attack for itself. If you're playing it for the first attack anyway, it can be a decent non-GX attacker, and it can help you out in that regard. I'm fine with that. But you play it for the first attack, and use the second attack if you need it. You don't play it for the second attack. It is all about the first attack here. And I like the first attack. I don't think this is a deck. I think this is a card that you play for a one-off, maybe even using Ditto Prism Star, and the entire point of it here is that if you're against a deck that relies on tools or special energy, this gives you a silver bullet answer. What I will say is I absolutely love the fact that this gets rid of tools and Lysander Labs turns tools off, and the Pyroar from Forbidden Light, which came out in the same set as Lysander Labs, is a Pyroar with Lysander on the card. It all works together rather beautifully. I'm going to be giving this between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. It's a very specific card. It's not a card for every situation, but the situations where you can use it are numerous enough that I think it is going to see a little bit of play here and there. But I would very much like to know what you think about this. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.